Hey folks, Gord Bamford here, and you're listening to Music Row.
Welcome to Music Row, a backstage pass to your favorite country artists. Here's your host, Leake.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being you. Thanks for the shares, the likes, the love. And if you like this podcast, and going by the numbers, I think you do, and maybe you're interested in hearing something from more of the indie rock world and stuff like that, we've got another podcast. It's called The Leak in Review. And if you want, go check that one out when you have some extra time. Some great guests over there as well. Today, we hang out with Gord Bamford. I think Gord and his band have won every single CCMA award that has ever been handed out. Gord is on his 25th anniversary, just getting started tour. He's got new music coming. I think he's always got new music coming. He's a prolific writer and a real savvy, smart business person in the world of music. It's a grind. It's a tough grind, but he's making it happen. And I think a lot of artists should be taking notes as to what's working for Gord and maybe try and apply it to their career. Gord Bamford on the Music Row podcast coming up. First, some news. The 59th annual CMA Awards were held at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, and Lainey Wilson is now the undisputed queen of country music, reclaiming Entertainer of the Year for the second win in as many years. She also picked up Female Vocalist of the Year and Album of the Year for Whirlwind. So Lainey gets 3 wins. So did Ella Langley and Riley Green, whose duet, You Look Like You Love Me, dominated with wins for Single of the Year, Song of the Year, and Music Video of the Year. There was a few upsets out there. Cody Johnson dethroned Chris Stapleton for Male Vocalist of the Year. The Red Clay Strays snapped up Old Dominion's 7-year reign in vocal group. And Music Row podcast buddy Zach Top picked up New Artist of the Year. Nice job, everyone.
Wherever there's a heartbeat and a stage, there's an artist set to perform. This is Music Row on Tour.
On Tour brought to you by the Pecan Agency, connecting fans with bands worldwide. Catch Tim McGraw December 4 and 6 in Vegas. Zach Brown Band is there on the 5 and 6. And Chris Young hits Nashville December 19 and then on the 20th, Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming up on the Music Row podcast, Gord Bamford.
Hi, my name is Kim Stockwood. I am a proud Newfoundlander and a Canadian singer-songwriter. In a landscape where many lack access to health benefits or employee assistance programs, the Unison Fund serves as a lifeline of hope for musicians and music industry professionals facing medical emergencies or mental health challenges. To learn more about Unison and their programs, please visit unisonfund.ca.
Hey, Gord Bamford here, and you're listening to Music Row with Leake.
Well, this is nice.
Yeah.
Gord Bamford is out on the road. It's the 25th anniversary, just getting started tour. Out with Corb Lund right now. You've known Corb for probably your entire country music career.
Yeah, I have.
Probably grew up as neighbors.
Yeah. You know, I've been a fan of Corb since the Smalls, I guess, and what he did there. And obviously, you know, Corb's got such a unique, you know, career, what he does. Nobody can do it like him. So this is actually the first show I've ever played with him here coming up. So looking forward to it.
The country music landscape, you know, you say like when he was with Smalls and stuff, you know, alt rock punk band from the 90s. Country music has had so many changes that it's actually embracing more sounds that maybe an artist like Corb Lund started with back in the days. It's a wide range. What I like about Gord Bamford is sticking to who Gord Bamford is.
Yeah, for the most part, I mean, we swayed away for a couple songs trying to chase, I guess, whatever the sound was at that time. But yeah, I think for me, you know, Jeff, it's just been, that's what it is. You know, it's pretty meat and potatoes. It's straight down the middle country music, and it's really what all I'm good at. So, you know, to try and sway off the other stuff just doesn't work. But it's encouraging now because it's like right back to, it feels like it's coming right back to 90s country again after 25 years of being in the business. So it's brand new again.
You talk about chasing it. It's like if we do a hockey reference, if you're a stay-at-home defenseman, don't ever play center. It's never going to work for your hockey team. Stay at home, be in your space and stay in your lane, and the team wins.
Yeah, work hard at what you're good at, and just stay the course. And like music, since I've been in it, and it feels like I am just getting started because time's flown by so fast. It ebbs and flows. It's like when I got into the '90s, country it was country music, steel guitar, fiddle. Then it went on a different path for a while, and now it's back again. It's just evolution of what happens, and it's a good thing. It just brings a lot more fan base into the genre of what they call country music, in the time, and it's been great, I think for everybody.
I like how you say it brings a lot more fan base in because of it's got a diversity to it now. Country music has never been bigger.
No, and it's exciting, especially when you make a living doing that. So you guy like myself, it's been a great living, something that has gone way beyond what I've imagined. But I've I love my job. I still love doing it. I feel like we got a ton left. It's exciting. I've had people go, "Hey, when are you going to kind of slow down?" I'm like, I wasn't wired that way. I don't want to slow down.
It's interesting because I was just talking with somebody about there's a special event that's coming up, and I said I like it when there's events that come up, and it seems weird to people who plan events that the event isn't going well. And I say I like it because it takes a lot. You're wired. People who do events and do shows and do things, they're wired. They know how to do it, and they're professionals. You have a wiring where you do events, you do planning, you are so engaged in your business. It's a special character person who can do that, because I know that there's a lot of people in country music who have done very well in their music lane. They try to do some specialty things and they fall on their face.
Yeah, I mean, it's a grind. People look at it and go, "Oh boy, they're stars, or they've got a bus, or they've got all this and that, and they must be wealthy." Like it's not all what it looks like. I mean, it's a grind for everybody out there, and including the people putting the event on, or the promoter, or the festival. I mean, everybody's got to work together, and a lot of times, some of these events die because, to be quite honestly, it's the artist that's overpriced that can't go in there and make them a revenue. I mean, the whole idea in the game of music and the game of touring is to make sure that the buyer or the event or the planner is successful. So, there's a lot of things that go on in the industry where, I guess they fail at what they're doing, but it's kind of not their fault. It's kind of, an overspend or whatever they're doing there. So for me, I go in and do I'm very community orientated. So I'll go in and we'll do stuff turnkey. We bring our production, we bring our bus, we bring the band, and we'll partner with communities so that everybody wins. And if everybody wins, it's a great business model, and it continues to unfold. And not only me, but other musicians and other artists that want to go out and play and tour where most of our revenue is today have an opportunity to do that versus, squashing the event. So hopefully, people take more of an approach like that, because it just helps everybody.
And I think there's another side to that too, where there's some artists who might get a big payday at one festival and they believe that that's their pay salary or their pay rate moving forward. But it's a false economy in a sense, because that was one day. But if you can't move tickets or fill venues along the way, then you're in trouble. You're in the negative. Yeah,
my goal was always to, move 300 to 500 tickets across Canada, the Gord Bamford ticket, and obviously we've exceeded that, for the most part.
You've done okay.
But that would be
25 years.
That would be a great living, and again, I look at what I'm in as a singer songwriter as my job. And I like my job. A lot of people don't like their job when they go to work. Nice. So I love my job. So I just try to build that fan base. And these festivals, I love them all. They're great, and they put on great events. But it's and everybody, when you start, you want to play the big festival, and I won't name them. But they kind of cramp you a bit, because I'll call it, most of our Canadian country acts are on a bigger festival or a soft ticket. They're not an act that's getting paid the top dollar and the act that's going to sell that festival when it goes on sale. Yet, we go into these venues and they pay us fairly. It's good, but there's 300-kilometer radius clauses around you for 6 months before and 2 months after. And it's Well, at $40,000 or $50,000, that doesn't pay the bills for one show. And now or whatever you're getting paid. And now I can't play anywhere in Ontario or Alberta or Manitoba for 6 months. Like, so I've kind of taken the other side of the motto and going like, I'm going to go to these communities. There's going to be no radius clause. It's going to be a Gord Bamford show. We're going to sell merch. We're going to partner with communities, and everybody's going to win. So, I turned down a lot of festivals simply because of that reason. And people are like, oh, when don't you really want to play those big festivals? I'm like, well, I've already played them, number one. And number two, like, they don't pay the bills. So I feel like, and this is maybe something I shouldn't say, but I feel like as a Canadian act, unless, we're getting top billing and we're going to headline these festivals, stop putting radius clauses on us, because it's killing us as our livelihood.
Yeah, and because you do have this touring business, which is so rare in Canadian country music, it's a difficult thing. You'll have some artists that can play their locale and they can do okay with, but that's 2 weeks of the year, maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's the rest of the country that they just can't get there because it's all the touring costs and they haven't built up that hard ticket sale. But you're right. They'll take that money at a large festival, whatever the payday is, and then be locked out for 6 months locally. And it's a funny thing for the festivals to do, in my opinion, because I would rather have a young artist who can do 100 tickets playing almost every weekend and developing a fan base so that there's more of a draw to stand in front of that stage at that festival at 4:00 in the afternoon and watch this younger artist play.
Yeah. And I've had candid conversation with many of the great festival owners out there that we have, and thank goodness we have them. But exactly that. It's like, the more I play, the more fan base I get, they're going to come to see us play. I mean, we're a soft ticket for the most part when it comes down to these big festivals. We're kind of a filler, if you put it that, which is sad to say, but it's like, don't stop us from making a living. If you feel like we can, and I think there's a lot of good Canadian acts, country rock that, mainly country, because I'm in the country, is that on a Friday night headline spot can make it happen. I mean, you're paying Canadian dollars as a festival buyer here. You're supporting Canadian talent, which, I mean, I just think our mindset on the festival side is a little bit backwards when it comes down to what you want to do as an artist or as an owner. Now, we've had, that's just my opinion, but that's been my motto. But honestly, I'd love to play all these festivals again, but not if it's going to cramp what I'm doing. And I mean, we've raised over $600,000 for small communities and since COVID, going into these communities and playing for them. And literally, Jeff, like, we've gone up the road an hour and a half to these communities and they sell out. So it's not like, oh, you're too close to this venue, you're too close to that venue. No, they're 300, 500,000 seat venues, but it's just a model that works for us. It keeps my band working. It keeps my mortgage paid. It keeps me sharp playing music. And that's just what we like to do.
I think that's something that a lot of people don't understand too. As an artist, you're not just out on stage and performing. You're also a business manager and a business owner, where you've got not just your livelihood to take care of. There's a band that you're taking care of as well. So it's a much bigger package when you look at it. And yeah, I just think it's a funny thing. And it's unfortunate too that 80% of all the festivals are country music festivals. Yeah. So it's hurting the industry. It's more than any other genre because there's so many country festivals along the way. I
just wish that they would, especially, being Canadian, I just wish they would give the Canadians more of an opportunity to play these festivals. And I don't know what it is. And I'll always have this stance, whether they think I'm wrong and never book me again. I don't really care. But there's a lot of great Canadian artists out there, singers, songwriters in the country genre, which I'm in, that can play these festivals and not have a clamp around them to not play anywhere else. Like, it's just, if you want to make a living in country music and a good and not have to work a day job like a lot of people do, you got to go play music nowadays. Like 90% of my revenue is in touring and merchandising, and like you said earlier, you got 12 people that financially you're responsible for because you've asked them to dedicate their craft to you full time. So, playing 10 or 15 shows a year doesn't work. It would work for me at this point, but it doesn't work for them. And that's why we averaged probably 60 a year. That a couple of years ago we played 100. Like, and everybody came out. I mean, it is a grind. I mean, it's not like Morgan Wallen's coming to town everywhere. I mean, it's you gotta put the effort in. You have a street team. We work with these groups that they're kind of your partner on it, and you got to poster it. You got to go out and do all the work. You can't just say you're coming to town. I mean, and they don't all blow up. I mean, but they've all been very successful, and everybody wins.
If you want to get paid, you got to work. If you want full-time dollars, you got to work full-time. And I think that's something that a lot of people step away from, and they don't recognize that that's what a band has to do.
And I mean, like the sports reference, you want to play in the big leagues or play in the NHL or get to that level, you got to work every day to do that. I mean, it's something that it just makes sense. It's just like if you're an entrepreneur in a business, you got to work to be successful. So I think the industry is obviously, I love the industry, but it's really, for a lot of artists and there's a lot of them that come and go. I mean, I just would tell artists, like, just do what your gut's telling you to do and believe in what you're doing and control what you're doing if you can, and I had to do that by design, but it's been very worth it for me.
It's one of those things where it's jumping off or putting your foot out there in the scary waters, where once you do it, you realize, oh, wait a minute, I should have done this maybe 3-4 years ago, instead of humming and hawing about the risk that is involved in doing everything DIY.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of artists. A lot of Canadian artists have their bands based in Nashville.
Yeah.
And for them to do one show, it's a $25,000 ticket right off the top just to get your band out on the road to play one show. Those artists aren't making that money to recoup that unless they can do 30 shows and keep that band on the road. And that's a business that a lot of Canadian artists can't do right now.
Yeah. I mean, we lived in Nashville for a few years and loved it.
Beautiful house.
And tried that thing.
Beautiful house.
Yeah, but we just realized that, our business and our bread and butter was in Canada, and we have a lot of great opportunities as a Canadian artist, singer-songwriter, especially now, like to get out there, get your music out there and get out and play and tour. I mean, it's a lot harder. I mean, radio's changed. I mean, streaming's in. Like, for a new artist to break, I mean, sure, you can find their music on all these streaming platforms, but building that fan base is huge, and you only do it by getting out and playing, in my opinion. And you can have hits, and we've had lots of them, but we're still building a fan base, and we're 25 top 10 singles in, and records in, and we're still out there building a fan, especially for the younger generation that's coming up that doesn't even know what radio is. I mean, they find songs like Postcard from Pasadena or Stayed Till 2 is like a brand new song to them. So we're building, we're doing it all over again, but only by touring, only by playing, and whether their mom and dad bought the table of the show that night and they had to come with them and found their music, or whether their friend sent something to them. Did you see this new guy, Gord Bamford? I mean, it's just rebuilding it all again.
That's the beauty too about having a catalog and an archive, because suddenly something takes off and suddenly something's new again. And that's refreshing to you as the artist, where you're like, boy, we haven't played this song in who knows how many years. And for whatever reason, it's reacting today. It has its own cycle. Yeah. And you get to bring it back into the Gord Bamford verse.
And a lot of it is the older country stuff, which is exciting for a guy like me, because that's what I love, but
thanks, Zach Top.
Yeah. He's a big part of it, bringing that back. Now, in saying that, like, there was a Luke Combs before there was a Luke Combs. They just wouldn't give him a chance. There was a Zach Top before there was a Zach Top. They just wouldn't give him a chance. When I say that, I'm talking about the big machine. Like, it didn't fit for him at that point, or, you got to lose some weight, or you're not pretty enough, or you don't play guitar good enough. Well, throw that stuff out the window, because it's music and people love music. And today, the way things are going, it's a great testament to that, because, I mean, Jelly Roll, like all this, I mean, people are loving good music. It shouldn't matter how you look or what you can or can't do. It's about the music. And it's finally, in my opinion, it's finally starting to get there.
You mentioned Jelly Roll, and I think Jelly Roll being a unique sound that refreshed country music, but I love Post Malone.
Yeah, there's another great
into the water. Yeah. He puts his foot into the water, and now every young country artist is going to get a face tattoo.
Yeah.
No, but
I'm going to go down the street and get one here pretty quick.
Well, you know what? We can do it on going by the look of his tattoos. I think we can do it. We can do it ourselves. I'll just buy a kit off of Amazon.
And isn't that crazy? Like, he's great. You know, you wouldn't think that, like, you listen to playing country music, like he's great. Like, and
but he's an artist. He's a performer.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He's a guy that can go out on stage and he could cover a song from 1954 that no one has ever heard. And we're all going to go, that guy's an amazing performer. He's an amazing artist.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. Having that, you know, we covered a Tragically Hip song. I was a huge hip fan, you know, Wheat Kings, and I think it shocked people. It's like, you know, we got good and bad reviews because, I mean, don't touch the hip, but holy, he can do the hip. Like, having that diversity of vocally or what you like, you know, as far as musical tastes, you know, shows, and a guy like Post Malone, like, hear him doing Alan Jackson songs, like, whoa, like, and he does it good, right? So it's like that's a true talent, you know. The Jelly Roll thing, I could take it or leave it, but it's a great story. It's you know, and he's changing people's lives, and it's all through music and life story, right? So, I mean, it's great.
Well, Jelly Roll's interesting because he's got like 10 songs, call him, but he'll play for an hour and 45 minutes at an arena, but it's more of a sermon.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of preaching and a lot of, you know, reflection and stuff. So it's taking country music to a different space, and that's good too. And that's why I say country music has never been bigger, but it was low in the 90s.
Yeah,
it was basically almost extinct. And I've been saying this for forever. Because of that, I think it helped country music become what it is today, because the artists recognized there wasn't any media paying any attention to them, so they had to create their own events. And that's when the Fan Fest started happening. And that's when these unique awards started happening. And the artists really came forward and started embracing fans in a way that no other genre, I believe, ever has. I think country music artists worked harder to get it back, get the country music scene, the genre rolling again. And they taught a lot of young artists to do the same, and it's going to be rewarding. And you're like that. You're a guy, like we said, you're going to work with communities. You're going to say, look, here's a good profit margin for you as a venue, as a community, as a charity. This is what I can bring, and let's go from there. And that's a brilliant thing. You figured out how to work it, and I hope that more and more young artists can figure that out for themselves.
Yeah, I mean, well, the venue's got to win. I mean, the festival has to win. The honky tonk has to win. We'll play anywhere. People are like, you'll come play a small. Yeah, I'll come play it. Like we're just, it's our livelihood. Like I'll go play anywhere. You know, 300 seats and up is kind of our motto. We're doing this as long as there's a bar tour next fall, which is kind of a
new single as well.
Yeah, and it's kind of like we did my favorite tour ever was a dive bar tour a few years ago. I mean, we went to every little dive bar across the country and had the time of our lives. Now, you got to figure out how many people they can put in this bar, and then you got to figure out what you can charge these owners because if they can't make money, you're never going to go back and play there again. So it's like your whole thing in a dive bar and going to a honky tonk is to sell beer and to make this venue some revenue. So if you take the approach where I'm worth this much, like, what are you worth? You're worth what you can put in there, and you're only worth what the buyer can make on your ticket. So if you think you're $25,000 and you can only make $10,000 well, you're not going to have a very long career. Like you got to be able to zig and zag. And I mean, that's why we partner on shows, because small based communities can't afford what the agent or thinks that we're worth. We're not worth any more than what we can put in the venue. That's what has to be understood here. So when someone says, what's your show cost? I'm like, well, where do you want us to play? How many people can you put in the room, and how much you're going to sell the ticket for? And then I'll tell you what our show would cost.
Yeah,
and
there's a different breakdown per venue.
It's always common sense. Like now, a festival, it's going to cost lots because we can't play anywhere after we're there for 6 months. So that's kind of where, that's why we don't do them. But not saying I don't want to do them, but I mean, I'm going to keep that stance forever. I mean, the agent doesn't like it because they want to get paid, but it is what it is.
Agents, some of my best friends in the world are agents.
Yeah, they're great. Me too.
I love them, but they're also on a business model of let's get paid now.
Yep.
We got a guarantee of, we'll say it's $100,000. We're going to take this money. And then that artist, again, is now locked out of $10,000 shows, which would have meant $150,000 overall.
Yeah, and it's like, and getting back to, they don't understand that it's $25,000 in expense to bring everybody up or fly everybody here or do that. It's just, but that's their job. And there's some good ones. There's some great ones, and they do it. And I've got to the point in my career where I've worked with pretty much all of them, and we still have a beer. It's all good. But they understand where I'm coming from, and I understand where they're coming from. So now we got this hybrid motto of, okay, I'm going to do my small town community give back, and you guys bring me stuff. Eat what you kill. You know, it's like, so we have a great thing going there, and they understand where I'm at, and I understand where they're at, and you need them. You need a great agent. They have that leverage. They have great artists. They have great relationships, and there's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah, an agent, they know of opportunities that are coming up that, you know, an artist just, you know, you want an artist just to play music. You want an artist just to be on stage. You want an artist to perform. I don't want an artist to call every casino across North America and say, hey, looking at booking a tour, can you get me into a show? Yeah. The agent hears about that. The agent hears about the specialty events, the charity events, the one-offs here and there. And that's good. And that's, you want them to represent and build your brand.
Yeah.
Build it so that that hard ticket can come back around. I want to talk about Gord Bamford Foundation. Mm-hmm. You know, you brought me out, very kind of you, to your golf tournament, which you put on every year in Alberta. And I was blown away as to how good it was. First of all, you had the big opening night party. You rented out this beautiful arena, you know, this in the community.
Black Falls, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's there now. It's just kind of been all over, but it's grown to the point of there. So that's where you came to, yeah.
So, but I was blown away because of all the work that you put in to this thing. And then the golf tournament, unfortunately, the day that I was there, it was torrential rain throughout the entire
19
day.
years, and then you picked that day. So there's only been 2 years. And that was probably the worst that year. But
you guys, that didn't mean the show was over or the event was over. You kept it going. People showed up at the golf course and partied all day. I bet you that stressed out that golf course more than anything, having to deal with you guys all in the clubhouse as opposed to, well, at least they're outside. They can't wreck things.
Yeah, no, I think it's their biggest fundraiser out of all their tournaments all year. So they're great. I grew up in Lacombe, so that's where we have it. But the Golf Gala and Foundation, you know, I have such a great committee that runs it all, which is unbelievable. But it's just been, you know, almost $6.5 million now raised, and
unbelievable.
It's been incredible. Like, and it, you know, we started it 19 years ago on a flat deck trailer at the golf course, hoping to raise some money, and just kind of blew up. But I think there's lots of golf tournaments. There's charity golf tournaments that people have all the time, but this one's so unique in the fact that, you know, we have a lot of celebrities come in, from Olympians to hockey players, but most importantly, like our Canadian artists, you know, country and rock, that have come and supported it from day one. And the Gala night's pretty much what people come for. We've had a few teams come to that golf tournament that think that the round of golf's too long. We're like, hey, you're at the wrong tournament here, so they don't come back. But having the, you know, accessibility to I guess the music and the artists and the industry that comes in and supports is something that is unique when it comes down to golf tournaments, and something that not a lot of people can do. So, I mean, I think our return rate is probably 95% since year one. That tournament sells out like right away.
Well, good for you for doing that. And like, it can't be said enough, but $6.5 million going to charity is incredible work. And we're talking off the top about hard tickets and all that stuff. You've built a brand and you do it consistently, and it continues to pay.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really advertise it a whole bunch. Obviously, talk about it in something like your podcast, but it's not about what we do and how much we do. It's just about why we want to do it and why I want to do it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, you're asking people to buy a ticket to your show. You're asking people to be fans of your music. So why wouldn't you want to give back in a certain way to that community that is coming in and buying your ticket and buying your T-shirts and buying your merch? I mean, it's just a really great partnership, and it really only kind of, you know, come out of COVID. I mean, the whole brainstorm behind the whole tour. I mean, I talked about it for years, but out of COVID, like especially small communities, like, and they're everywhere. I mean, we've literally got, there's hundreds of towns on a waiting list for this tour, but we'll get to you as long as we keep playing. But I mean, all these, whether you're ag societies or Rotary clubs or Kinsman clubs or hockey teams or curling or anything kids, sports wise, community wise. I mean, that fundraisers were gone for them. I mean, that's how they run their community. So it only made sense, at that point to go in. And I mean,
you're a partnerships person.
It doesn't cost them anything. They give us the venue and the stage. So really all the risk is on myself. So it's like, I'm willing to take a risk on myself, and it's worked out really great.
But you're a partnerships person.
Yeah, for sure.
You convince the community, or the community convinces you, but you still look at it as not one of us owes each other anything.
Right.
We just need to stick to what we agreed with, and then we're partners, and we got a better shot. We got to work as a team.
It's like I said, well, okay, what would you charge for an event? Well, I don't know. How many people are coming?
Yeah.
Like, 100. Okay, well, let me run the numbers. Okay, it doesn't make sense. I can't make sense of it. But how about this? Like, there is no set number. It's like, how do we work together?
Let's talk about working with artists, because you've worked with lots of artists over the years, and they're lucky to have someone who, like you, who has done everything from the touring, the writing, the community and such. What do you say to young artists today when they're coming up?
Just, believe in what you do. I mean, it sounds cliche, but stick to what you're good at, believe in what you do. And most importantly, get great songs, not, you could be a singer songwriter, but I wasn't. I got taught. I worked with a guy named Byron Hill who first took me under his wing, taught me how to write songs, and got to write with incredible songwriters, guys that #1 songwriters, and learn the craft of writing songs. Had I written songs before that? Yeah, a few, but I feel like #1 is figure out what you want to do and stay in your lane. And then the next best thing is great songs. So there's lots of great songwriters that write great songs for everybody's lane. So make sure that you don't, and this is just my opinion, don't limit yourself to just writing everything on your own. Like, unless it's great, but you just never know when that next song comes along. Dive Bar was a Tebe write. I've had songs that have done really well that I didn't write, but I'm always open to listening to music and going with the best songs.
I think that's a great thing to say. Don't limit yourself, and don't be afraid to try with somebody else, because somebody might have that one line that can take a song from, yeah, it's pretty good, to, wow, it's really good.
Yeah, well, you look at Blake Shelton, Jason Aldean, they're not songwriters. I mean, they might dabble in it, but George Strait, for Pete's sakes. I mean, look at how many #1s he's had. They come from professional songwriters that really know how to write a great song, So I think you should learn how to write songs, or if you're interested in being a writer, I think you should definitely experience it. And I think the songwriter is getting left behind a little bit now. These deals are coming up, and they're putting people in rooms, and they're 360 and everything, they're owning everything. And they're forgetting about how great as songwriters we have in the world, especially in our genre. Like, I've been pitched songs that I have missed because a bigger artist in the U.S. wants it or whatever. But it's like, always listen, and get yourself in a network of great songwriters that'll pitch you songs and teach you the craft of writing if you want. But so really, there's only two things: do what you're good at, believe in what you do, and find great songs. And then try to surround yourself with people that believe in you.
I was talking with Josh Ross, and he was talking about songs that were pitched to him, and he said that he would just go driving and listen to music that were pitched, because that was the only way that he could hear all the songs. Because there is a lot that is being written out there. Like, there are millions of songs that country artists can jump on if they want to do a deal. How are you going to find them if you don't even know who you are? Yeah,
I'd kind of narrow it. Like, you can, I mean, it's easier for me these days because we've got the pipeline of those writers or the producers that are pitching songs, but you can narrow down what you're looking for. I'm recording a country record, want tempo, want mid tempo, want ballads, want steel guitar, like it's country, like, and you can nail it down to, getting songs pitched to you that are in that lane. The funnest part I have is listening to songs. So I get people coming to shows going, "Hey, I wrote this song." I'm like, send it over. Like you just never know.
Isn't that
right?
how you met Dallas Alexander?
Yeah, I met Dallas. He retired from the military and was in at a show in Edmonton that night through a friend of mine, and I had no idea he wanted to play music. But after the show, backstage, you come back, obviously national hero, sniper unit. I'm a good friend now, unbelievable guy. But yeah, backstage Cook County, like we've done many times till sunlight, just drinking beer and picking songs. And he started playing. I was like, wow, man, like whose song's that? He said, well, it's mine. I'm like, no, play me another one that you wrote, and another one. And, just an amazing talent. And long story made short, ended up working with Dallas and still am now. Dallas is one of those guys that wants to write his own songs. So, he'd probably hear this podcast and I go, he's got some great songs, but listen to some more. He's got some outside ones, but he really knows there's a guy that knows what he wants to do. And that's my point. Like, he knows what lane he's in. He knows where he wants to be with it. An incredibly intelligent guy. But he's plugging away, he'll be out, very disciplined, obviously. He'll be out on tour with us most of the year and getting in front of people. And I think, he's going up. I mean, he's doing good things. So he's got a great new song coming out, which I'm excited about, but he's very disciplined, very focused, works like a dog. He works harder than anyone I know. And, he knows what lane he's in. So hopefully he does well.
Gord Bamford, just getting started, 25th anniversary. That's awesome. Congratulations to you. I really appreciate you stopping by and spending some time. Yeah,
it's going to go on for a few years, this 25th anniversary.
I love it when it happens.
But yeah, it's been fun. We're grinding it out and loving everywhere we go and play.
I was talking, just to close out this, your 25th year anniversary, just getting started. It could go for another 40 years.
Yeah.
Just like Leonard Skinner says, they say bands don't retire, they just play less.
Yeah, exactly.
Just keep on going. You're grinding.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks.
Follow Music Row on X at Music Row Country, on Instagram at Music Row Official. Music Row is produced by Shed of Dreams.